looked inside and saw me talking to myself. Like, I can't describe the feeling of myself at that moment. I was so awkward and yeah. So hi everybody, it's Tanadas again. Yeah, the first thing I need to do right now is to apologize for not uploading this video as soon as I promised. I mean, I have been so busy these days and lots of stuff coming to my life, so I have to finish them off before the 2020 goes past. And if you have watched my intro video about my gap year before, which is uploaded on YouTube on my channel for about 1 month ago, you may know that what I'm gonna say today, I'm gonna talk about today. Yeah, it's about my relationships and the lessons that I have learned from them. Yeah. So, not to waste more time, hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Tanadas channel. So, have you ever asked yourself that how exactly important your relationships are? Or what are their real meanings to appear in your life? I used to think that the people I met outside, accidentally on the street or at a party, were something spontaneous. But when I look at the connection between my relationships and myself, I realized that they were something more than what we usually call spontaneous. They were all arranged rationally and harmoniously. And I have considered these things for years, especially things just got clearer when the gap year came into my life. Yeah. And for me, 2019 was a real bad luck, for sure. I'm definitely sure about that. Yeah, I don't know why, but everything just came into my life suddenly and irritatingly. Yeah, just like a tornado. So that's why my name, Tornadoes, also originated from this year. And yeah, not only could myself feel that, but every members in my family could feel that way, especially my parents. So for more details, I would like to show you guys when did my gap year start and when did it finish. So let's get started. So my gap year started on the 25th June 2019 and it was over on the 15th September 2020. Just imagine that over 400 days, over a year. Yeah, lucky me. And you know, after not succeeding in the graduation exam, I decided to move to Ho Chi Minh City. And there was 2 reasons for this. The first thing is, just imagine that area of my friends finished their high school and moved straight to the university, and I was not even graduated at that time. So it was a real big shock to me. Yeah. And the second reason is I wanted to give myself a second chance, to do it again. But anyway, fortunately, my parents agreed to let me go because they know that if I stay, it would be better for me to go rather than stay and locking myself in the room with lots of negative emotions like fears, shames, or feelings of guilty. Yeah. But actually, I did experience all these emotions at the time. But thanks God, I still had enough energy and motivation to come over it. But anyway, I just want to conclude that my parents did trust me a lot. Yeah. And my parents were scared a lot as well. They were scared of letting their son, who was truly susceptible to everything, go into the most bustling city in the country with lots of trust and social evils there. But they still let me go. You know why? Because they knew that this could be a key to solve this problem. I said it could be because at that time, My parents and I were not sure about my decision, whether it was good or not. But the important thing is to give myself a chance, a second chance, and to make a move rather than stay and get stuck with the problems. And so this is also the first lesson I could learn from my parents and from this story, is that if I don't know how to solve the problem, I'd better stay out of it rather than stay in. I mean, stay out is not hiding or running from the problem, but just imagine that your problem is like a circle surrounding you. And if you stay in the circle, the only thing you can see is the circle surrounding you, a problem surrounding you. But if you stay calm, take a breath, and make a move, get out of it, the problem is still there and you still have to solve it. But the important thing is, you may receive another perspective to see it from the outer part. You will know how exactly big it is and the key to break it, to solve the problems. Because when you stay out of your problem, you still have the right to receive the help, the support from other people surrounding you, your friends, your parents, and the people that they love you. I mean so. So in this case, staying in Nha Trang was not a great solution for me, so I truly needed to move. But of course, I did not hide from it. Hide. Yeah, and then I moved to Saigon and truly started my gap year. And the first day in Saigon was really stressful for me, for sure, because this is the first time that I did everything by myself, like tidying up the house or cleaning the toilet, washing the clothes by my own hands and everything like that. Luckily, I didn't have to cook because I had breakfast and dinner at my brother's apartment, which was next to mine. Yeah, but exactly at that moment, I missed my mom so bad. I tried to remember all the things she taught to me in Nha Trang, how to do these things correctly. But the problem came because, my habit is that when I try to do something in the correct way and to help me to remember how to do it, I try to put all the words in my mind out of my mouth, just like making a vlog for myself. And the problems happened when one of my neighbors went past my apartment, looked inside, and saw me talking to myself. Like, I can't describe the feeling of myself at that moment. I was so awkward and yeah. I'm okay, because the floor is so sleet. But honestly, I missed my parents so bad. I missed my parents, I missed my house in Nha Trang, I missed my life in there. Yeah, facing this problem is not so easy because graduation is just like an important milestone in a person's life, and I didn't achieve it. So it would take lots of time and much effort to get over it. Yeah. Sometimes while I was wandering around Saigon, my mom called me from Nha Trang and she said that she felt so bad and she wished this year just to race by quickly. She seemed to cry every night because, every day when the sun rose up, for her was another day to fight, another day to contain her sorrows and the unpleasant thinking deep inside her heart. So, therefore, when the nights came, these emotions accumulated and put her under strain. And about my father, because he knew that he was the one who mainly sheltered my family, so he just tried to keep calm and kept working. But I knew that he was just like dead inside each time when he thought about me, about my problem, and about my 12-year process with elementary school, secondary school, and high school, which was certainly important. When my parents went past my room, they saw a burden of my reference and lecture books. They were totally petrified because, before their very eyes, there were not something just only books, but millennia of waiting and struggling, millennia of suffering. So throughout this year, my parents and I had struggled a lot. Every day in our life just like dashes protruding from our hearts, and like millions of stones were put into our minds. We did try different ways to adapt to this life, and it was not easy, of course, but we had to. So when anybody came and asked about my information, like how I was or which universities I went to, we just kept silent or refused to answer these questions. Because this problem, not being graduated in time, was really sensitive, and it still be sensitive nowadays. So it's really hard for us to find the suitable way to respond to these questions. So we just kept silent, of course. Luckily my parents and I knew that we could still make a move, especially me. I believe in myself that I could do it. Not only could I do it, but I could do it well. So I started to try my best. Of course, along with this process, there were so many problems. Sometimes I just wanted to stop. I didn't want to do anything. But when I looked at my parents, they tried a lot. They tried to make me pleased, and they tried to make me feel stable, to focus on studying. And they did forgive me for my failure, even though that failure came from my big mistake. So at that moment, I just knew one thing, that I couldn't make them feel disappointed anymore. And when I thought about them, I just got my motivation back. So, and finally, after over 400 days of waiting, I received the news that I passed. At that moment, I just couldn't hold myself. I just jumped up and down like a kangaroo, and the important thing is, I perceived from my parents' faces a feeling of relief. And at that moment, my parents and I were like warriors in a battle hearing the word victory. We were truly released from the relentless pain which had lasted for ages. And the lessons that I could learn from this story is that even the harshest situation happens, even the darkest time, if you believe in yourself that you could do it, then you could make it. The powers comes from the belief in yourself, certainly. That's it. There are so many different interesting things about my parents that I really want to share with you guys, but I may keep them for other videos, okay? And for my next video, I will tell you guys about another part of my relationship, which is also extremely important in my life. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe because I will be back soon. Have a great day and bye bye!